Hey gang, it's July 15th, 2021, and today I'm at Rosehill Cemetery, and today I'm just going to be looking at some really interesting graves, nobody famous. But isn't that why we come out here to walk the cemeteries? And they're like mini adventures where you never know what you're going to see. And the thing that's special about today, and the reason I want to do this today is the 1 year anniversary of when I started this channel. It was last summer, and for over 20 years I've been doing my main hobby as a seaplane pilot, traveling, adventures, expeditions. And COVID hit right earlier in the year 2020. So last summer I was doing a lot more YouTube, and I found this channel called Out of the Past, a woman that does these stories back from the 1800s or 1900s, those old stories, crime stories. And by the way, I'll put a link in the description, and it is really her that's responsible directly for me starting this channel by happenstance, because it inspired me to come out to the Bohemian National Cemetery, which as a young man I used to go to so often. It was my number one intrigue, the pictures and what were their stories. But she had an episode on Eliska Perubik, a small girl of 4 years old that was kidnapped in the spring of 1911, and of course it had a sad ending. And I said, I want to go out to the cemetery, I want to find her grave, I want to pay respects. And I did, and while I was at it I said, I'm going to bring a video camera along, and I did. And that was the first video. The first video you'll see July 15th, 2020 on this channel. And it was pretty ragged, shaking, not great production. I kind of cringe when I look back at some of those earlier videos, but we've come a long way, and it's my new hobby. I kind of put the flying in the past. You can't do both. Flying is if you want to do it right, it's a full-time passion. And after 20 years, I think my passion had kind of waned. So this is probably my long-term new final passion, if I were to guess. But anyway, in looking at some interesting graves, I'm going to just make some selections, and I will look on my phone on Google to see if I can find out about them. But the trick today, or the challenge for you all, is most of these will not have any information. I'm not an ancestryguy.com, but if some of you want to check and you find out some information on these people that we will see, they're not famous, they're not infamous, well, I will post it on YouTube after this video. Not every little thing, but let's see what we can come up with. And my first stop here is something that has intrigued me for a long time. And I looked and looked, and I could not figure out who this man was. His last name is Pick. And it's this bronze podium, if you will. I'll call it a podium. It's a memorial to a man named George Pick. Who was he? Isn't this beautiful? And can you imagine the work that this took to make this? Look at the detailing. And who is the woman? All right, let's continue on. Now this is intriguing. A little bit of Egyptian revival, but hard to say. Definitely distinctive. And it looks like, yes, there's a plexiglass door that has been opened. And look at that. It looks, the crypts are really different. There's like some big handles that are on there. They're massive. Let's see if we can get the name. Looks like Axel A. Strom, S-T. I'll see if I can zoom in. Axel Strom. And I can't read what it says under. I will zoom in. Looks like there's a date there. And if you look in the back, there is what looks like maybe for a baby or a child. Look at that. Small crypt. We'll look around the back. Here on the right, I don't think we're going to be able to get this one, but I will try through the plexiglass. I'm going to put it on manual focus, and then we will zoom in, see what we get. Okay, a little fine refinement on the focus, and there we go. That looks like Carrie Strom, right? Yes. There's a cobweb in the way, but I think you guys can get the date. It looks like 1927. There. Sharpen it up. Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at the back and see what we have. Oh yeah, these the coffins or caskets are here. That's why it tapers down. So right here there would be a child, most likely. Beautiful. I wonder if there's anything up there or anybody. Right? All right. No markings or names on the outside, so we'll see what we can come up with. This is something different here. Probably Woodmen of the World, but it is a Bible or a book that is cantilevered over a stump. Never seen this before. And there is a violin on there. Look at that. Beautiful little violin. I don't see a name anywhere on this one, so it will remain a mystery. The name is money. Can't take it with you, but you can leave it here. That is the obelisk for John Wentworth, who was mayor of Chicago. Besides the claim to fame of being mayor, he wanted to have the biggest monument. I guess the man with the big ego, I don't know, but I don't know if he achieved it. But speaking of big, this is the Common Cherry Monument. And look at the size of that granite ball. I can't even describe to you. It is at least, I'm going to guess 5 feet in diameter. It's absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. And I know a little bit about weights, and I do know that if you took a 4 foot by 4 foot boulder in granite, that's going to come in around 10,000 pounds, we'll call that 5 tons. This is bigger, but if you shave off all the corners, so I'm going to say it's all equal. 10,000 pounds. How do you get 10,000 pounds back in the early 1900s set upon these tiny little pads? Can you imagine? There's 4 points here it's resting on, and they look like little pads. All of that weight, well, I shouldn't say that. It's in the center there, there's a base. Those are just balancing it, but just imagine the weight bearing down on this monument. Now, if this is not Masonic, I don't know what is. You see the all-seeing eye, and I'm not sure what the significance of the hat is. But I can tell you that he was a very notable professor here in Chicago. He had died January 24th. He was 84 years old. Well known as a geologist and mineralist here and throughout the country. He resided on the south side, 280 Oakwood Boulevard. His death was caused by old age. Now, when do you hear that today? He was best known from his work in sciences, and he was the discoverer and developer of the copper mines of the Superior regions. Now, I know my Northwoods cabin is in Iron County, and they don't name it Iron County for nothing. Lots of copper up there. So this is the guy responsible. He was born in Strathavon parish of Avondale in Lanarkshire, Scotland in 1815. Can you imagine? 1815. He came to America in 1838, and he settled in Pittsburgh to start, where he founded a business, but 6 years later he took charge of the interests of the Pittsburgh and Boston Mining Company, where, of course, he was discovering these rich deposits. So very interesting. I wonder what else we can find out about him. And this symbol. That is some type of specific plant. Would anyone know what that is? I sure don't. But we do have some monuments here. Take a look. Here is their monument. Father-Mother. Coming Cherry, 81. Margaret Cherry. Margaret Cherry was, I believe, 81. And let's take a look over here. Coming Junior Matilda. So we have no date, but Coming Cherry Jr. and presumably his wife Matilda Watson. Yes, says his wife. And one more stone here. William-Matilda. And William Wallace Cherry died February 27, 1879. Oh, 18 years old. We have 2 children here. Matilda Cherry died April 16, 1879. Age 21, it looks like. Maybe we can find out. You genealogists out there, or Ancestry.com, maybe we can find death certificates. Would love to know how they died. Probably Well, 1879. Now look at this. They both died the same year. William in February, and in spring Matilda dies. I am guessing that was definitely a disease. It could have been back in late 1800s. Typhoid was a big one. But there's so many. There's so many to outline. That is the tomb of George Bangs, famous guy. I'll put a reference in the video we did very early on that features that grave. But this is a nice little cozy corner here. And I was just inclined to pull over and look at these 4 graves right here. Distinctive old stones. I don't know why, it just caught my eye and beckoned me over. Perhaps we'll be able to read what they say. Probably not. This is just the big one, it looks like. (1849) death. Does that say... Oh, I can't. Perhaps you guys can read it and solve the mystery. This is going to be a hard one, guys. I did bring the flashlight. No need for the flashlight. We've got good shadowing here. That's about the best we're going to get. It does look like age 26 years. Give you a close look here. Death date looks like November 21st, 1849. Okay. You know, you look out and you just try to imagine all the stories that each of these stones represents. It's really hard to fathom. It's a treasure trove of history, guys. But most of these stories will not be told. Maybe someday, maybe 100 years from now, there will be technology, history. Not for a while. One of the very few graves with a picture here at Rosehill. Rosemalita passed away in 2018. She was born December 13th, 1940, just under a year before World War II. Well, since the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. Beautiful woman. She did live to a somewhat ripe old age. Nice smile. Rest in peace. What I would give to get in there. See, Spielman Mausoleum. I was passing by here and looked at this beautiful stained glass shining through the window. Definitely have to take a look at that. Look at that, it's beautiful. Just thought I'd show you that. Ferdinand Hausen. August 14th, 1880, it looks like. And Maria, wife of F. Hausen. She died in 1901, it looks like. There's the Masonic we see so often. William Hausen. William F. Hausen, 1861 to 1923. Now this is the one that I wanted to really see. It caught my eye. The Givens. Hopefully we can find some stones. Isn't that a beautiful statue? Look at that. Unfortunately, I don't see any stones here. So this one will be a mystery. That is the famous Lulu Fellows in her glass box. You can see that from a prior episode, actually one of my first episodes here at Rosehill last summer. But the reason I came here is this very intriguing stone. Caught my eye. And we can read what it says. Let me step around these. I don't want to step on the graves if I don't have to. There we go. So, there you can read it. James G. U. Batchen. Was born in Scotland, May 26, 1829. Died in Chicago, April 11, 1886. Eleanor Pauline. Is that, I can't read the name, but also in Scotland. October 11th, 1881. Died here, 1886. And we have Jessie Elizabeth, born November 20th, 1864. She died in 72, in spring of 72. So that would make her 8 years old. Yeah, very sad. Again, with a lot of diseases back then. Typhoid is a good candidate. Tuberculosis, consumption. So many to guess at. Maybe a death certificate here, gang. Here we have the Odd Fellows, the 3 rings. Isn't that a beautiful stone? Just amazing. It's a big boulder here. Take a quick look. Salton Stall. Now this is an interesting inscription. That looks Scottish, doesn't it? With a dragon and a crown. Boy, let's see if we can figure this one out. Anybody know? Give a closer look of this. Is that a family coat of arms, perhaps? From this family? Possibly. We do have some stones here. Gertrude. So actually what I'm going to do is I am going to step over here and do this in the upside down version so we're not stepping on graves. So let's have a look at the stones. Yeah, this is where they're actually buried. Very interesting. There's Lulu. Very interesting stone here. Very old, of course, like many, but the reason I say it is it's completely intact. Normally something this old would be crumbling more. See a woman with an anchor in marble. It looks like it's in a limestone inset. These marble pieces. There's that haunting face, the angel face. Well, let's see if we can make out the name here. I see Janie something. It's going to be hard to make this out. Wife of... Oh, this one's not going to be... I don't think that's going to be doable, unfortunately. I can barely make 1800 something. Well, maybe you guys can get it. I don't know. Give it some angles here. Oh, I love that. I love that angel face. So the name is B-E-E. There are some other marble slabs, but just cannot make it out. There's some good symbolism on here that we can take a look at. Again, the angels on all four sides, but it looks like each side has a different symbol. Let's see what's on this side. Yeah. What is that? I wonder what that is. Oh boy, we've seen that before. That's really sad. When I see this, I think of Resurrection Mary, the ghost story. Well, this is William, son of, looks like, no, I just can't read it, guys. It's too bad. Lost in the sands of time, literally. We won't be able to find out. We have another last name here. Is that a Q or a O? Yeah, that's a Q. U-I. Q-U-I-N-E. Now, are there tombstones here? That's the question. Let's see what these say. Maybe we'll get lucky. No. This is Papa and Mama, George and Christina Ernst. Boy, what are their stories? It sounds German. I think it's a German name. Rest in peace. There's the old Rosehill mausoleum. Has the deer run by. And that is where John G. Shedd is buried, in that chapel we looked at. And this is the Louis M. Stummer love to find out about the Stummer family. There's no windows, but what's intriguing is the woman in sorrow guarding the door. Isn't that beautiful? This will last 1,000 years. Just beautiful work. I wonder what this cost back in the day. What do you think, guys? Well, it's going to wrap it up for us today. Thanks for joining me on this special day. It was exactly 12 months ago that I started this from nothing, and now around 70,000 subscribers. Who would have known? I want to thank you all for coming along. I mean, this is what it's all about. I'm not after all of this subscribers and all of that stuff. Really just wanted to bring some folks along, and that's what we'll continue to do, and we'll keep the focus on that. Thanks for coming, though. I really appreciate y'all. It's great to know you. Take care.